Welcome, Shell, to our episode here today at Urban Home Yoga, Going Beyond the Mat. So we've invited you because over the year, we've really been able to discuss beauty and wellness more in like a one-to-one, you and I. And I didn't realize that you all knew each other from previous studios as well. So welcome to our show today.
Thank you for having me. It's so good to be here.
Yeah. And so go ahead and let us know. So today is more about how beauty and yoga really fit together. And so you're coming from this beauty wellness focus, and we've got the yoga background, and we wanted to really bring this to life for our audience, where the two are really actually linked in. Well, if we are looking after our hair, our skin, and things for beautification purposes, how yoga can be really useful, or at least the principles of yoga that you and I have talked about, where it's how stress can really, rack and damage things, and how the opposite can really enlift and revive us. So go ahead and let us know a little bit more about yourself. Like, what brought you into yoga? Sorry, I know you're a yoga practitioner, but as well as, what brought you into beauty, and then maybe more holistic beauty, if I'm not mistaken?
So my kind of journey into holistic beauty kind of started quite organically, really. I think I was looking at different methods of beauty, and nothing kind of resonated. I remember trying a beauty treatment, and it was called a collagen wave, and going away from that and having really bad headaches, and me thinking, what even is that? It was like a radio frequency
I was
treatment.
just going to ask, what is that?
Yeah, and it's supposed to like heat the fibers of the skin to produce more collagen. But I went away, I had this like really bad headache, and it just made me think about beauty, the different beauty treatments that were available, and that there must be something else. And it was really in the lockdown that I used it as like a pivotal moment to change, because I had an opportunity to kind of pause and stop and look at things in a different way. And it kind of coincided with a period that I was transitioning through. So I was going through a really stressful time, and looking back, I was like quite dysregulated, and I found Gua Sha as a really nice practice to be able to bring mindfulness into my daily life.
Could you explain more about Gua Sha, just in case if anyone didn't know what that was, or what? I think for me, I know it a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything more? What exactly is it?
So it's a stone. It's made of like crystal, or like a Bayan stone, and it's based in Chinese principles, but it's used to kind of scrape the skin, but it kind of glides across, and it helps to clear like the lymphatic system and to lift the tissue. And it's just a really nice way to restore the skin.
It's smooth. It's
really
stone.
smooth. Yeah. So you like apply oil, and you just like mindfully kind of glide it across, and it's really restorative, but it's effective as well at the same time.
And how did you come across that? Was it just because of the time period you were in and the research that you were doing in terms of beauty?
Yeah, because I think it allowed a moment to pause, didn't it, when we were in the lockdown?
Yeah.
So we were able to look at different things. And
we do have a running joke that time is measured with COVID at the moment, like pre-COVID, during COVID, post-COVID, right? Like where life kind of changed for a little bit of us.
Yeah, it really did, didn't it?
Right?
So like having that moment of stillness, and I think it must have been through social media that I found a particular brand. And so I got one, and I would follow some like online tutorials, and like worked out how to hold the tool, because it's really important to understand how to hold it like posturally, but how to hold it in your hand, and like little techniques. But it was only when I kind of found my flow that it became something a bit more meditative.
It is hypnotic though, when you do see someone. I mean, we're talking Gua Sha in a sense of the tool, right? But movement, like, it's like, it's kind of when you see someone in a yoga flow, in my particular eye lens, it's just when you see someone in flow, they're just connected, and it's so hypnotic and restorative, and right, it can just draw you in.
It's just a really good space to sit in when you create something where you're in the flow, similar to yoga. Yeah. Because at that time when I found it, I was stressed. I was like dysregulated, and I couldn't find anything that was accessible. Like meditation just felt just non-accessible. It was too, I just couldn't put my physical self in that space to like find that stillness. So where this gave me something where I was able to move into a stillness, like creating that flow, which is similar to yoga, isn't it? Where you kind of start the practice and you can be really like dysregulated. And then by taking those flowy movements, next minute you're like in almost like that juicy hypnotic space where you're able to like just flow and
and that's you doing it to yourself.
And just getting into it like a self-practice, right?
And it's kind of following the contour of your face.
So it's ultimately, you're following the contours of the face and you're lifting and sculpting the tissue.
Nice. I did want to say actually on that topic on meditation, just recently in teacher training, we were talking about meditation and mindfulness. And I had asked, this is a group of women and men that are interested in yoga and wellness going into either teaching for themselves or to develop or deepen a practice, right? And the reality is we look at meditation, but actually it is a higher order skill. In the 8 limbs of yoga, meditation is number 7 out of 8.
Yeah, I can see that.
And actually before that, number 3 is movement. Number 4 is breathing. So actually in the first stages of things, it's about getting to know yourself. So 1 and 2 is more about getting to know yourself and pausing and finding something that connects to you. So actually within the yoga realm of meditation and getting into those deeper levels of stillness and wellness, it is about finding moments of something that interests you and then finding that flow. So actually that feels so natural that you found something that was really interesting for you, found the flow, found the motivation for it, and then perhaps developed it into a deeper, like a lifestyle now and a career really, right? Because even they talked, like when we talk about as yoga teachers, it's so far from a beginner yoga, right? Like going from starting a yoga practice, getting frustrated with your body, most likely coming to yoga or health or any kind of fitness because life gets in the way. And so you are forced to pause in some ways. And I mean, that's how we found yoga. And that's probably, it's how you found wellness and beauty. It's like life makes us change to kind of rethink, like, what is it that we want to do? But yeah, I think when we get into those higher levels of expertise, whether it's yoga, wellness, beauty, I think that is high level stuff. It's because we've been in it for a while, right? And so now you've been living and breathing it, I guess, in some ways, right?
Yeah, because I think it starts as like that moment, doesn't it? Of like, there's something that you want to add, that you feel that you need to make a change.
Yeah. So
it starts with that pause, that breath, and that moment to connect with yourself, that self-discovery. But it's definitely, it becomes a practice. It's a lifestyle. And then you when you see the benefits from it and you feel that and you experience that wellness, it then becomes something more.
Yeah. And I think we can all relate, really, right? Yeah. And I think hopefully our listeners can relate, or perhaps they're in that stuck moment where it's trying to find passion. Like sometimes you lose what you are, or what you were, or what your passion could have been, because, life does get in the way, right? Like, and so I think that's probably how we all found right now where we are in and where we're heading when it comes to wellness. I think ultimately that's like such a big underpinning of what we're doing right now is wellness. And I understand that we're probably not, as much as we teach wellness, beauty, yoga, etc., it's so easy to get dysregulated, right?
Yeah. Really.
So easy. Yeah. It doesn't mean just because we're teaching it and we're experts in the field, it doesn't mean that, yes, of course, the practice is deep within us and we reach for it whenever we see that we've gone off of it. Yeah. But I think that's the only ease for us, is that we can reach for it a little quicker. But, we're all at the same mercy of life taking over.
That's it. We're all just human beings living a human existence. So there's always going to be triggers. There's always going to be things that throw us off and dysregulate us. But the more kind of practices that we have, and like the bigger our toolkit is,
I think it's that toolkit,
the more opportunity we have to like regulate ourselves.
A lot of people will be Googling this, because I would be, if I was at home, I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
So give me a rough idea. If I came to you for a treatment, what would it entail?
So I always start with a breath and a pause, and I would guide you into like a moment to come home to your body. So I very much focus on it's like a little meditative moment where I take you through a little breathwork practice where you can regulate the body. I ask you to tune into the body to notice sensations and emotions that are present. So like a bit of a somatic feel to it, because it's important to acknowledge where you are, and just to breathe into that and just to notice it in the body and to let it go. And then I ask you to do it physically. So noticing where you feel the sensations in your body. And that's a really big part of the work that I do, because I'm not there to, yes, I'm there to look after your skin, because skincare is really important, and I'm trained at a high level to fix skin, care for skin, but it's very much about that regulation and that coming home to the body. So it's really important that we do that grounding practice.
And I think because I was taking, I had started treatment with Shell, I would say a year ago, actually, September, October last year. And I think that there are facials and there are treatments out there that's available. But I think what linked with me being a yoga teacher from a yoga background was that there was wellness, again, understanding on wellness behind the scenes. Yeah. And so when I would go in for treatment, it would be take a breath, take a pause. Most likely my body would relax even more. And most likely I could probably get the most out of treatment as well, because it just aligned really with yoga and our principles anyway, So I think that there was a lot of, it's holistic. I think with yoga, we'll talk holistic. With beauty, it was holistic. And I think that was what I saw overlapped and connected. So then I'm like, okay, so when I see other opportunities for facials, etc., it's like, is it holistic facials? And now, now that's kind of what I'm connecting.
I want to tick a lot of boxes as well. So I focus on the vagus nerve as well in the treatment. Right. So shifting the physiological state. So I know how to do that in my treatment so that when someone comes to me, I know they're going to leave in a different state.
And explain more the vagus nerve, because we all know it as well, but it's nice to hear what's your insight on it.
So the vagus nerve it kind of runs through the whole body and kind of kisses each organ, and the more that we can work with it and gently stimulate it, the more that it kind of signals through the body of safety and calm. And ultimately, that is what we want to do day to day, because we have these busy lives, we're rushing around, we're here, there, and everywhere, and we don't give ourselves enough opportunity to shift into that parasympathetic state, that rest and digest place, which is where we heal and restore. And that really is the key to holistic beauty, is that restorative space. So ultimately, that is what I'm doing within the treatment, is bringing you to that place of safety so that your body shifts, inflammation drops.
Yes.
Hormone shift.
Yes.
It's that healing state, isn't it?
Totally, and it really connects to what we've learned.
Yeah.
Now, did you learn about the vagus nerve on your own, or was it embedded in the courses that you were taking in specifically for holistic wellness?
So the courses that I took were more kind of general beauty.
Okay.
And then I learned tools I learned about Gua Sha. I did some courses in that sense, but I'm also a health and wellness coach. So I'm always just learning and discovering new things and bringing it into my treatment. So it's just been something that's come in throughout.
Just self-practice and self-study.
And just...
It makes sense.
Organically, yeah.
Because I think same thing with yoga teaching. You won't necessarily learn about the vagus nerve in teacher training programs for yoga. But our program has the science of it, and it's in science right now, wellness of science, the vagus nerve, master your breath, master your vagus nerve. Why would you want to master your vagus nerve? Well, it's the only cranial nerve that actually is literally your mind-body connection. So we actually added this into our theory portion of teacher training so that teachers do graduate understanding what the vagus nerve is at a very entry level. We're not scientists, right? But connecting yoga and science in a accessible way for our teachers as well.
Yeah.
But it wasn't part of our program. And so in some ways we would do the yoga practice and we would understand the wellness and the benefits, but not all the time would we understand the science behind it. And I think nowadays it's like, well, why is it good for me? Because there is so much out there. There's a lot of noise out there.
Yeah.
So, and I think a lot of us, either our listeners or ourselves, we have probably been misled. There's trust issues, like, does it really work? We all want transformation, but actually, will a yoga practice really transform us? Will holistic wellness and beauty practices really transform us? And I think that that's why the science is so important, because people were saying to them, like, this is why it works, or this is what they're saying.
Yeah.
And then we go in and we practice it, and then we're translating it. Like, this is actually why it's working, you know? So yeah, I just wanted to know, but it's lovely that you've gone in depth with it, because that's passion, that's drive, right? Like, you've gone into it, you've seen what you've wanted for yourself and maybe what's missing, right? Maybe when you went into beauty, maybe there was something missing, and that's why we create a space, because I can see that going into looking at beauty treatments, I haven't found someone that's connected it so well. So in some ways, it's like you could have probably been a yoga teacher and a facialist and come together, because you've embodied that, you know?
Yeah.
It feels like you've embodied that.
Yeah, thanks. I think it's just about understanding what works for you. And I've kind of just gone with what the practices that I've put in place for myself and how it's transformed, like, my emotional health, my mental health, my skin, my self-confidence, like the way I feel about myself, and then moved it into a space where I can hold others, and then like a livable lifestyle.
Yeah, for sure. And more lifestyle. And going back to Ali, I know, please do continue to expand more on what treatment looks like. But yeah, your beginning of treatment embodies the beginning of yoga, or like restorative yoga, or any yoga actually.
Restorative, isn't it? But
Yeah.
I think it's that, I mean, you've said it's coming back to connecting to yourself, because we are very disconnected.
Yeah.
And we spend a lot of time just kind of like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. How are you today? Oh, I'm great, thank you. But inside
automatic.
you're broken. If somebody said, how are you today? It's like, well, actually,
Do you have 20 minutes?
Regulate
right now. And it's a bit like, oh, my kids are doing this is happening. The cooker doesn't work.
Yeah,
Machine's
exactly.
broken. Blah, blah, blah. And it's a bit like, oh, okay, I wish never asked that. And we're very kind of like, very much like, it's all okay.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not okay.
Yeah. And we keep it in, and it's all like locked.
You can feel it churning in your belly, which also then makes illness. And then it is that, how are we feeling? We get up in the morning, we have this list of everything to do. You've got to get the kids to school. So we don't actually feel, how do we feel this morning?
Fighting fires all day.
It is, yeah. And, we don't really connect. Where if you had those few minutes in the morning as that ritual, and I think we spoke about it before, like, even just getting up, having a few breaths, like, what am I grateful for today?
Yeah, it
Something
changes
so
your
simple.
mindset.
And it's a bit like, oh, actually, I'm actually really listening, not just to be grateful, because, we have a lot that we can be grateful for, but also like, how do I feel? And I think it's nice then to go and have a treatment with that in mind.
That's exactly what it was. It felt like it wasn't just something that was on the to-do list, because it can be. It could just be go to the appointment and then leave the appointment and keep going.
Yeah.
But it's a moment where I felt like it would be a moment of yoga, a moment of restorative, where it was connected together. It was a moment for to really reset. And I was also going to add on that I think that's the reality, is that we are all so incredibly busy, and that we all have to put on this front to just keep going, survival. And continue with, because I know that when we had spoken before, it was like how survival instincts can really wreck skin, hair health, and that's why it's so important to go into that parasympathetic nervous system, or rest and digest, or, however we downshifting basically from fight flight. But yeah, more about the treatment as well, because I do think that it really connects to what we're saying and what we're already teaching and what we're holding on to, because as much as we teach it, we're also holding on to it. But yeah, explain more like how it really connects to beauty. Or how you've seen it connect to beauty.
Will it iron out my wrinkles?
Yeah,
So it's all about a softening, really. It's like a coming home to. It's a softening. It's a letting go of. So they're kind of words that I would use in the treatment as well. It's like it's very much around that letting go. So stress is probably one of the most anti-aging things that we come across. It really does affect the skin. So through expressions that are caused on our faces, like our body holds the score, our face does exactly the same through expression lines.
I did see also like there was I think it was a post that you had put on, which is like, I think you called it cortisol face or adrenaline face, like really what it looks like when you've got a lot of adrenaline, but you don't know really what you could what you're looking like with adrenaline. Because I think survival instinct, we don't even know we're in survival. So it's actually until you've got the contrast of going into wellness and you see like a before and after picture that you're like, oh my gosh, I was in cortisol face. I was in adrenaline.
People get really puffy and inflamed.
Yeah,
because
that's what
the
it
body is literally holding on. So I do lots of lymphatic work as well in the treatment. I do lots of lymphatic body work. And that is to literally help to flush the body out. So we're helping to flush out toxins, chemicals, excess hormones. And that's really important because the body, when it's stressed, will hold. And it's important that we let it go. So these treatments that I've designed help with that, to allow the body to soften and to release.
Yeah, and it's so mental and physical.
Yeah.
You do physically, but you do it mentally and emotionally as well, which is what I really loved.
Yeah.
But you see it in restorative yoga, don't you? When people come in and they're like, "Wah." And you're like, just lay down.
And then they just float out.
And then when they go out, they're like,
yeah.
But it's kind of like just the smile, the softness comes back to their eyes.
Yeah.
They just look brighter. I
think ultimately
the scowling is like, has gone.
There is nothing better than finishing a yoga class and lying on the mat and having that savasana at the end where
savasana adjusts when they come round. And just that little, because it's touch as well, isn't it? And a lot of people don't have that touch.
Yeah. So important.
So if, there isn't that person that's there to do it, just by going to you and it's like, it's okay, calm down, everything's fine. That is also permission to let go.
So
a lot of people need that.
Yeah.
Because if you are living by yourself and it's just you, I maybe take it for granted that I've got family around me, but some people don't. So you could be their only person that's telling them it's okay.
Yeah.
Reset. And, that touch is amazing.
That whole connection thing, though, is so important.
Yeah.
I was looking at something the other day that was talking about how when people don't have certain levels of connection and their life expectancy can drop by 15 years. Like it's more of a danger than actually smoking, which
do you know behind the scenes they're saying that disease and illness and is due to isolation, actually behind the scenes isolation, because I think that if we look at the evolution, I think, of civilization, and, it was villages. We had villages, we had tribes, we had connection based on those old ways of living. And I think the new ways of living, cost of living has gone up. We all have our own households to manage. We all have our own, just lifestyles to manage. And sometimes we just don't want to burden other people. Now, this is the reality of life behind getting to a class, getting to a beauty treatment, right? Like this is what underpins us.
Yeah.
I'd seen another visual, which I think is really powerful. And it was everyone's in a class or people are coming to treatment. And it's like, what is their backstory? So one of them is celebrating a win. One of them is going to a divorce. One is managing, living on their own. But it's not just negative. It's not just negative, like we're going through a lot of hardship. There's also positive in there as well. So you've got a mix for our particular situation in group classes. You've got a mix of people that are there either struggling or they were struggling and now they're actually doing the breakthrough and they're actually getting into their celebrating wins. And same for you. Like when I've come over the last 12 months, I will tell you, 1 month I'm like hanging by a string. The other month I'm doing okay. But do you know, like that's our backstory.
That can be like moment to moment,
right?
Day though, can't it?
Exactly. Yeah. And I think ultimately what it does is it meets you where you are. Mm-hmm. It's not expecting perfection, that you need to have great skin or a great body. Mm-hmm. It's like you're coming in to learn what safety and relaxation is. Mm-hmm. So then you can be on your journey for great skin and a more well-oiled body, right? Like ultimately, again, if people are listening, that's really like the story. You know, it kind of wraps us up into what our story is and what the treatments can do for someone, or what a yoga practice can do for someone.
So how long are your treatments roughly on average?
60 minutes to like 90 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's a nice opportunity to just let go.
Nice. And is it mostly facial?
I do both face and body and do treatments that combine the two as well. Yeah.
Any differences between face and body? Like in a sense that besides the literal, but like when you approach muscles, would you say that the muscles are pretty lymphatic drainage or, you know, fluid retention? Would you say it's quite similar face and body, or is it different, or is the body just quite similar when it holds?
Yeah, I mean, it's similar.
Or is it more delicate in your face? Do you know what I mean?
Is more delicate.
Okay.
Yeah, so the muscles are different in the face to the body. So you would work them more mindfully.
Okay.
And it's very much understanding what muscles you're working on in terms of what direction you want to kind of move them and use them, because you're kind of
contouring
things up and sculpt things.
You could give me cheekbones.
So it's understanding what muscle, like the anatomy of the face and how that works, but you're still working with the lymphatic system, so it's still that kind of light to firm pressure of working to clear the system out. So it's, you know,
so there's similarities but differences.
It ties in nicely.
Okay. Oh, really nice. Well, I was going to actually go through to anti-aging. You know, we had mentioned anti-aging, and so beauty would be a way, the treatments, etc., underneath beauty as a category. It's towards anti-aging. When people are coming to treatment, if they do have fine lines, or if they have, like, this is reducing their fine lines, it's giving them more blood flow, vitality, right, in their into their face. Mm-hmm. So you had mentioned as well, because we were talking about teachers that we've known, the older teachers, older yoga teachers that are reaching the ages of now, lovely enough, 10, 15 years ago, they were 60. Now they're not 60 anymore. Now our teachers that we've been following as we approach 40 and 50, our teachers are now 75, 80. So the teachers that we would have been following back 10, 15 years ago now, right? They've gone up a decade as well. So these are the older ones, like Shiva Ray in California, Dharma Mitra in New York. Like these were pivotal people. David Swenson for Ashtanga yoga. Yeah. And some of our listeners may know these, you know, these fathers or mothers, or these, you know, they were formative in the Western yoga movement. Mm-hmm. These are the teachers that kind of maybe brought yoga into a huge movement in the West, right? Over the last, I would say in the 90s, perhaps. So we're now seeing them age, right? Like we're seeing them in their aging. And you had mentioned what David Swenson. So you had met David Swenson, who is someone who has written books, and you can Google him and you'll see he's...
It was a long time ago when I met him, but I still kind of follow him on social media. And I mean, obviously he looks older, because he is older, and you know, it's a privilege to age, so we should always be kind of like, we're aging, and embrace it. But it's kind of like just their physical bodies through like yoga and just looking after themselves, how they still move like an oiled machine.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And I just kind of think, I want to be like that.
Yeah.
I want to be that person.
Sign me up.
Yeah. You know, when I'm 70,
Yeah.
that I can still come into, you know, like my warriors, my boat poses, and just keep moving like a, you know, fine oiled machine. And I know I'm going to age. And, you know, I'm actually quite happy with that, just because it's a sign of my journey of my life. But I still want to know how I can age well.
Aging
naturally,
well.
holistically. I'm not going to be putting Botox into my face and things like that. That is just so not me. But yeah, just to grow old gracefully and just be able to keep moving my body. And they become as a package, really, don't they?
Yeah.
And understanding.
I think that's it. I think, you know, pro beauty, like, it's very much about consistency. It's very much about movement. It's about creating glow and hydration. And it's like what you said, to keep moving. It's about keeping that flow, keeping that movement. And I think that's the key, is that creates the youthfulness, is through moving the body. Same with the face. You know, we can have some lines and wrinkles, but we can have glowing skin and sparkly eyes.
Exactly
And
that.
it's about energy.
It's energy.
It's the energy that we create. So it's how we show up, by making good lifestyle choices, by moving our body, by letting go of the things that don't serve us, by, you know, dropping the toxic load in terms of stress and
That's very true, actually.
chemicals and that kind of thing.
Because
That's what creates the real beauty. Like when someone walks into a room and their energy.
Yeah.
I think of like,
And it's the eyes, the gateway to the soul is with the eyes.
Totally.
And you've got amazing sparkling eyes. Yeah. They have. They really are. Like,
vibrant.
yeah.
I think of I've got small children, so Moana, but like Moana's grandmother, like I can see, I know this is a cartoon, but it was or like, you know, animation, but it's how she was still so spunky as an older woman. Do you know, like as a grandmother, and how she was just like, there was still an adventurous spirit.
She's childlike,
right? There's that adventure spirit.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what it is. It's that stress will not only dampen our spirit, it'll dampen our skin, and it will dampen our body movement.
Yeah.
And when our energy, or when we understand what stress really is, or what survival living actually is, because sometimes survival living, we're in it and we don't even know it.
But sometimes we have to survive.
And sometimes that's exactly what we've talked about.
Everyone takes a survival.
Yeah. Do you know, it's so true, because I think that again, we are having to survive, but it is nice for moments of peace, stillness, wellness, beauty, yoga, whatever that form takes, because I think we lose ourselves in all of it.
Yeah.
And actually, to be able to handle life really well, I think it is those moments of just remembering that adventurous spirit. Do you know, I think that that's really what you've helped me do when I've come to treatment and I've booked at that time, or what our studio does when we book at that time to go to yoga, whether it's our studio or other, you know, if we're traveling and we're doing yoga in other places. But I think that ultimately you're carving time out to move your body. And I think hydration is behind the scenes on wellness, because even for us, when you're moving the body, the hydration is, so it's oxygen, but oxygen has water in it, right? Like, so I had heard that those that breathe deeply and well actually don't need to drink as much water, because in their deep breathing, oxygen is made up of water molecules as well. So you're breathing deeply. So you've got water through oxygen. You've got the blood is not as stuck, and blood is, again, another fluid. So the blood is moving. Synovial fluid for the joints is moving. Lymphatic fluid is moving. So now all of a sudden we've got oxygen, blood, lymphatic fluid, synovial fluid, whether from beauty, whether from yoga.
The whole fascia matrix is
fascia. Oh my gosh.
Creates so much collagen and hydration.
Yeah.
And that's exactly it, because
yoga, beauty treatments.
Exactly
like
that.
When we create that, we can stimulate the hydration within the fascia as well.
And we talk about fascia in yoga, because even fascia is such a big thing. Like we're not even understanding how intertwined it is within the muscles. And it either can go, it's mucus, right? They say like it's actually mucusy. Like when it's rigid, it's really stiff
and go really hard,
right?
Same
and
as it in the face,
it's incredible. And tell us more, though. Of course, collagen, protein, because you're looking at this now as part of increasing hydration. Am I right? Like in the treatment?
Yeah. So there's areas where it can get stuck and go hard. So it's really important to massage it to kind of move that tension, that physical tension out. But yeah, you can hydrate the tissue
by through movement
and things like facial cupping and practices like that help to just expand it and create flow. And
so when you say facial cupping, what do you mean by that? Because I've got an image of the cups that people stick on their backs.
It's not as intense as that. They're like rubber. They're a bit more kind of flexible, and you can apply some oil to the face, and they work in terms of a suction. So you'd apply it as a sort of suck just gently, and you kind of squeeze it. So
I've had treatment. It's so nice.
It's really nice.
I've just got to imagine those big cups, the proper cup.
No, I know.
Yeah, couple sat on my cheeks.
It's like those delicate facial ones. It's so nice.
The ones for the back are really great at like really pulling those toxins out.
Do you do those as well?
I don't do that cupping. No.
Yeah, I just find it all quite fascinating.
Yeah. Have you ever had any type of treatment in holistic beauty or holistic wellness? Like,
I had a beautiful facial that was named something about a year and a half ago, and I'll be perfectly honest, I can't even remember what it was called, but I kept saying I need to do this for myself more often, and I didn't go back. But not because
after this episode I think we're all going back. Okay.
I just made me realise, because if ever I do bring it up, I was like, you know what, I've recommended it to people. She was amazing. And I just remember like lying there thinking like, I'm in heaven.
Yeah, it's so nice.
And why she had left something on my face. She was doing my feet. Lovely. Which was like double heaven. Yeah. And then I was like, I've got to drive home.
One of the things we had spoken about with yoga, so there's, of course there's regular yoga, but when it came to hot yoga, it felt like a deep tissue massage. Like if I was to compare body face treatments, like massages and facials and things like this, to yoga, I just felt like hot yoga was like I could compare it to a deep tissue massage. Now it's not for everyone. It's so deep.
You've done hot yoga, haven't you?
Yeah. So you can understand, right? But it doesn't work for everyone, and that's understandable. So so yoga at a hot level can be really aggravating for some. Same with a deep tissue massage. So maybe more like a Swedish massage, more like a regular yoga practice. But I think really for the listeners, it's whatever works, just get things moving, right? Whether you want it at a light surface level or a deep level.
Yeah, it's fine.
But just move, right? Just getting it moving. Things are moving. Yeah. And just your body's moving. And I think really movement.
Yeah, movement. And also with anti-aging as well, I think, just circling back to that, I think it's very much about not striving for perfection.
Lovely.
I think those kind of standards around things being perfect and that push for perfection, I think is just completely unachievable. And people are on that treadmill of trying to find this level of perfection that never actually exists, because it's just an illusion.
And to be honest,
is an illusion,
marketing dream.
And stepping back gives you that chance of actually getting the consistency that you want.
Yeah, but the perfection through beauty, but also in life, allowing yourself to be a human being that has space to make mistakes and do things and like have that.
So would you say it's all about routine as well?
Yeah, I like to call it ritual over routine.
I like ritual.
I think that sounds nicer.
Yeah, it's softer, it's calmer, it's more grounded. But consistency, consistency of a routine is important.
Yeah.
So, same as yoga. But I feel like ritual holds something a little bit
sacred,
more juicy about it, and sacred. Yeah, and it becomes more of a promise to yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. It
It's
takes the
surprising,
pressure
isn't it?
off.
Yeah.
How a word can change something.
Yeah,
Where it's a bit
even
like,
you just hear it, you're like, oh yeah.
my evening ritual is like,
Ooh,
so important.
this is
so
my time.
sacred.
As opposed to
Like,
like a routine
my-
where I have to do it.
Yeah,
I've got to-
Exactly
it's got to
that.
do this
Exactly
work.
that.
Yeah.
It's got like this masculine, feminine, or this stronger softness.
Ego essence.
Yeah. Ego essence. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm having a ritual this evening.
Ooh.
I'm going to
It's just something quite
do
magical
my
about
yeah.
it.
When I put my moisturisers on this evening,
It's going to be a ritual. It's not going to be a routine.
Yeah, so I think like with a ritual, it makes you want to like,
No, it does. Even
What is
now,
that?
it actually feels more exciting.
yeah,
Exactly that.
And with it, it's like you want to pause,
Yeah.
just take a moment in stillness.
Yeah.
And a ritual is about connection to self.
Yeah.
So you become aware of the product, the texture of the product, smell the product.
So it is actually a mindful thing.
It's
Isn't
such
it?
a mindful.
100%. And you can feel like if it's a nice balm, it's like the texture of it. And how does it feel in the hands? Warm it in the hands.
Rather than my
Breathe it in.
routine, quick like.
You're paying
Yeah.
attention. Well, I mean,
Yeah, it's
eating.
getting
But like
done,
connecting
isn't it?
exactly
Exactly.
to
What I
the
mean?
products, you know, that like if you pick
Yeah.
good quality, clean beauty
Yes.
products, there'll be fragrance with like really beautiful oils that are designed so that you take that moment to breathe in like lavender and
Essential oils. Yeah, of course.
But you just take that time to like feel it on your skin. Notice your fingers glide across the skin, across the face.
So I think this is
Notice where
lovely.
they go. Yeah.
So I think, like listeners, next time you do your ritual, make it just that. And
Yeah.
then just see the difference.
And it's a
moment to pause
sensory-
and breathe and just take the time because people don't really have that much time to add all these things into their
Fancy
morning or their
things.
evening.
Yeah, of course.
By the time you've like put your children to bed or you've got home from work or you've
Yeah, of
cooked
course
dinner or
that.
done like the million things that you need to do in the house, you need easy, accessible rituals that just give you 5 minutes of stillness, and even just a few like moments of time is enough to reset the body.
And we'd love to actually finish, I mean, any kind of tips and tricks for real life, of course, because same thing with yoga. I think the best thing of real life is how do we maybe at the end of the night scroll a little less, go to bed, wake up just maybe 10 minutes early, just for a moment to breathe, have a moment for gratefulness or gratitude, maybe breathe or move our body for 5 to 10 minutes and start that way, you know? So for a yoga perspective, these are ways to now just start adding in that 5 to 10 minutes to start your day in that way.
Yeah.
And to finish, you know, for you to be able to give us some tips and tricks, but also that ability for us to not strive for perfection and for it to be a mindful sensory, you know, so like we're appreciating, I think, because when we talk about nervous system and trying to downshift from survival to rest and relaxation, how do we do that? And actually in yoga, it is a sensory mindfulness practice. So we're listening, we're looking, we're hearing, we're touching, you know, so all your 5 senses.
Yeah.
And that's what it really brought to my attention. It's that you're touching and feeling the product, you're smelling, you know, it's perfectly designed for essential oils for it to really stimulate, you know, our sense of smell and our sense of slowing down. So now you're downshifting. So do you have any other just any other tips for our listeners and for us as well that we can take into our evening or morning ritual?
Yeah, I guess when we're dysregulated, it's the sense of being out of our bodies. So we're kind of around here, not really in our human body. So when we take those moments of stillness, like you say, by the visual or the scent or whatever it may be, you come back into your body. So you're coming back to home. So
And that's what they would call grounding, I guess, right?
yeah, 100%.
That's what if people are saying, what is grounding?
Yeah.
Like that's grounding.
It's noticing your feet.
You're not floating heads anymore.
Yeah.
You're getting into your
noticing
body.
your physical body. And it's that stillness, that moment of calm. So skincare rituals are really nice at the end of the day to take those moments just to breathe. Mornings, I would say, like setting your alarm 15 minutes earlier just to get up before the noise, to set an intention, to notice the energy that's in the body, and like sending that out in the mornings where you can show up in a certain way where you're like ready to go for the day. Because if you don't, you're kind of playing catch up, and then it's like ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
So mornings for me are busy. So I just like to take that 15 minutes of time just to set intentions for the day and set my energy so that I'm kind of can do it from that space.
Exactly. And I think it's just intentional now, right? So you can breathe.
Yeah.
You can do stuff to your face. You can put moisturizer on morning or evening.
I mean,
but now we're connecting.
Breath is always key. Breath is always key. Yeah. I like to do little pockets of regulation throughout the day. I found that I do little check-ins where I might remind myself to breathe. I'll check in, where are my shoulders? What is my face doing? Because often we'll be scrunching our faces and our shoulders are up here. So I'm like, relax the shoulders, soften the jaw. Take a breath.
Yeah.
And just,
So it's that little practice just going with you, isn't it?
Yeah. And the more that you do those little check-ins, the more that it just becomes your way. And I found that we're kind of layered like onions, and the more that we soften, like we let the layers go, and then our body just over time just relaxes more and more, and that's the coming home, the softening.
But I suppose it is calming, isn't it, before you escalate going up, isn't it? If you're saying you're checking in, it's a bit like, I relax my shoulders, relax my jaw.
Yeah.
You're like, well, actually, I am getting stressed. Okay, I can now, why am I getting stressed? I can sort this out, rather than not realising and suddenly being that big boiler, just going like,
exactly,
I can't take anymore.
Yeah.
So that's quite a nice idea, actually. Just take those few minutes during the day.
I think even our last
little mini reset, isn't it?
It is our last in our last chat with a yoga teacher who's going into physio. She was saying that, you know, when you're and Ali also has experience with Pilates and physio, when they look at the movements, it's like, oh, that's yoga. Oh, that's yoga. But actually what's been missing is the breath. Same thing with going into beauty treatments. You can get your massages, you can get your lymphatic drainages, you can get these different treatments. But I think what has made this holistic beauty and holistic wellness is I think we keep touching upon the breath. I feel like this is like what is just coming in underneath your morning or evening beauty ritual, or your morning evening check-in, or your morning evening starting your day and ending your day. And I think that that's, again, going away from perfection, but just a small little addition enhances beauty, or enhances your motivation really to take care of yourself.
It really does.
Right?
Yeah. Just taking that breath really resets the body and the mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's been lovely to have you here, because it's such an overlap.
Yeah.
Different careers, different expertise, one more for beauty and wellness, facials and body rituals. And for us, it's movement, exercise, things, you know, more in that space. But so much overlap when it comes to wellness, so much overlap when it comes to breath. And again, taking away that perfection, but really moving towards taking care of ourselves, really, right? Any last minute things that you'd like to add on? Anything that comes to mind that might set us, you know, into, I guess just any last minute advice maybe for anyone that is still listening, that could help them create that ritual today or tomorrow, you know?
So I would say evening's always a good time for rituals, because you have a bit more space, and it is definitely about having the space to pause and reconnect. So it's nice to do little check-ins, like a somatic check-ins, close your eyes and like place your hand on your heart and just breathing into the body and just noticing what sensations are there, how you're feeling, and you can journal that. Or you can do it with a Gua Sha tool, or even just your hands, where you're noticing where the sensations are, how you're feeling. And then you combine that with the beauty principles of applying a nice oil, taking a moment just to breathe it in. Notice how that feels when you take the breath, where it nourishes the body, where your body might need to receive it. If it could be your throat because you've not spoken your truth that day, or your heart because you're holding on to something, or your gut because it's trying to tell you that there's something that's out. So it's really nice to combine the beauty to the wellness principles and just breathing it in and just taking a moment just to receive that self-love, because that is the best beauty practice and ritual that you can give yourself, is honoring yourself with your time and your energy. Because when you can learn how to replenish your own self and your own cup, that is like beauty in its purest form. You're giving yourself a pure gift, and it becomes that. It's a gift of self-love to yourself that is irreplaceable. And it's like a mind-body thing where you just can just be in this practice of receiving, and often we don't receive enough.
I think that's
we don't give ourselves enough. Exactly. And then it becomes a commitment to self, which then becomes something even greater. So it's just having that time to say, like, I love me through a physical beauty.
I love that
principle.
And I can also see how that would be motivating to do all other things from there. Do you know? Because again, everything then will start to feel like a chore, and it's so easy to drop it then. So it's like, oh, I've been moisturizing every night and I've stopped. But I think that is such an underpinning place to start, because after that, I think it'll stay with you. Even if you lose it every once in a while here and there, I feel like that's incredible, because it's, again, touching that deep layer.
But it's just signaling, I love me. I love myself enough to give myself this time.
That's exactly it.
I am worthy of this time.
That is exactly it.
This touch and this physical sense of self.
I love that.
That's just something that I've found has really shaped my own personal journey of just the whole thing. Really underpins the whole principle of the way that I work, the way that I treat myself, the way I work with other people.
And evening in particular? Evening, just more, I guess we're just more time and more stillness.
There's more opportunity to
really embed it, I think.
Into that. Yeah.
I guess then if you're going to bed, you're taking it with you, aren't you?
Yeah.
Otherwise then it's like, I feel great. And then you've got kids downstairs going, where's my weight of it?
Exactly that.
That's that moment.
But you can add different principles. Like you might want to journal something from the day if you've got time, or you might want to, I don't know, like create a longer time to extend the ritual. It just gives you.
It's amazing. Shell, thank you so much for joining us today. I think that, it's given us a lot. It's seen how different things connect together, you know, and what is underpinning the yoga and what's underpinning beauty and wellness and taking care of yourself, but ultimately really taking care of yourself in different ways, you know. So thank you for enlightening us, giving us a little bit more motivation to take care of ourselves a little bit more, and how it really connects to wellness, you know. So it's been beautiful to have you on the show, and also motivated me to book my next appointment.